What is going on, Legionnaires? Christmas is right around the corner, and it looks like the comic companies know it because they are sending us tons of amazing books this year, right before the holiday drops. If you want to see what my top 10 picks are, don't go anywhere. Check this out. Huge shout out to the homies over at Big Time Collectibles. You can find them at their website. Check them out on social media or on whatnot 5 days a week. Also, if you need anything clean or press, be sure to hit up the homie Justin over on Instagram. He can take care of you and hook it up for as little as $10 a book. Be sure to let him know you found him via the channel. You can find the link to him as well as Big Time Collectibles and my local comic shop Facebook group in the description below. Be sure to check out ABX Comics and Games if you're ever in the Augusta area. And let's get into this list. There's a lot of good stuff coming. There's actually plenty of stuff that didn't make this list. I'll go ahead and say there's some honorable mentions. You know, Titans Beast World is going on right now, and there'll be some more Beast World material dropping this week. Not the main title, but some tie-in stuff. So if you're following that closely, be sure to look twice on your shelves, as well as there's a couple of Godzilla titles dropping. I do pick up Godzilla Rivals, and there's one of those dropping, that probably one that a lot of people would be interested in. If you're a Godzilla fan, the Megalon and Jet Jaguar book is hitting shelves. I know I'm definitely getting that one, but as far as the top 10 list goes, it all starts right here with issue number 22 of Mark Waid's World's Finest. Dan Moore is doing great on the art, but Mark Waid is sending it with the story. Right now, we're in part 3 of Returning to Kingdom Come. We got Superman and Batman traveling through the multiverse to Earth 22 to try to stop Boy Thunder from ever becoming the villainous Magog. It isn't working out very well. It looks like he's got the wool pulled over the superheroes' eyes on his Earth, and they're all in a battle against our Superman and Batman. They're getting introduced to the supergroup called the Justice Battalion in this one. I'm not sure how many issues this storyline will go, but I promise you, by the end of it, it won't feel like it was enough. This has been the long-standing top-tier monthly title from the big two right now. If you are in love of these characters at all, this is the book to get. I know a lot of people read it, but definitely not enough people are talking about this book. If there was more people reading it, there wouldn't be time to complain about so many of the other lackluster books. There's good ones out there. You just got to try around sometimes. And I was lucky to have landed on this one early on. And next up, we've got Superman issue number 9 by DC spearheader Joshua Williamson. This has just been an absolute treat from issue 1 forward. We're still working on the main story arc with villains of Lex Luthor's past coming back to haunt him, with him trying to, or at least appearing to, turn a new leaf and work with Superman. It's all of the people that are out to get him have all come out of the woodwork, headed by this character called Dr. Farm, who's organizing all of it, as well as like super juicing a lot of Superman's villains. And following the fight with the Chained in the last couple of issues, Superman's super weak, so he's been gifted a super suit by not super Lex Luthor. We're going to see if that's going to come back to bite him. Reading this is really fun. Like, I wish Jamal Campbell was on all of the interiors the whole way, but this one, who was it they were saying is doing the interiors? Man, I already forgot, but whatever it was, I'm like, yeah, that'll work. That'll work, but it's not Joshua Campbell, and I wish it was, but we'll see how it all plays out. As you go through this, you're kind of just sitting there waiting on the pin to fall, waiting on Lex Luthor to show his hand and really like, all right, there it is. I knew it the whole time. Superman's addressed it. Lois is addressing it. Now, we as the reader just waiting for it to happen. I don't know what the ultimate goal for this is going to be. They have been teasing Brainiac is coming in the super titles for a while, so I don't know if that'll start creeping into these the main Superman book here or not. Have to stick around to find out. Next up, man, oh my gosh, I cannot sing the praises of Wonder Woman by Tom King loud enough. This book right here has got the X factor. It's an anomaly. It is just ridiculously good. Perfect pairing with Tom King and Daniel Sampier. The pacing, the tone, the style of this book is out of this world. The whole concept behind it is a massive violent attack happened in a bar and took the lives of some of the patrons, and Amazon was the cause of it, or at least the one to take the lives. And we're still waiting to see and get confirmation who it was that did it. But in the meantime, the government is trying to crack down and taking some extreme actions in doing so. Wonder Woman is completely revolting, and they are coming for her. And then this gone back and forth through a couple of issues with Wonder Woman ending on top. But is she going to run out of patience trying to get through to these people? Is she going to leave completely? We're going to have to find out in this issue. And they also started a backup story in the last issue focusing on that new character Trinity that was teased a few months back before issue 800 dropped. And the backup story is set in the past when Trinity is younger and she's hanging out with the Super Son. So it was actually really, really enjoyable in that last issue. I'm excited to dive into more of that as well. Next up, Philip Kennedy Johnson might be leaving Superman, which is it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to say the least. Philip Kennedy Johnson absolutely saved Superman from the Bendis era and brought all the fans back and a lot of new fans. Well, now he has the opportunity to do the same thing with the Incredible Hulk. He's been doing it for 6 months straight. Like Incredible Hulk number 7 drops this week, and we're continuing the episodic reign of the monsters. And we're going to see which monster specifically Hulk will be trying to diminish and what town he's trying to save. In the last issue, we were introduced to a brand new Ghost Rider, which was super cool. It was a World War II era soldier that was protecting a small village of locals that he was a part of, apparently. And it was just really cool. We saw the Rider and Hulk go head up. That's where the issue ended. We're going to see how that plays out in this issue. And I really hope we get to see more of this Ghost Rider in future issues to come, and possibly in other books as well. It was really, really a cool treat. This Nick Klein on the art. Again, so many of these titles that are dropping right now that are really good have such a great artist pairing, and this one's no exception. This is just fantastic. If you were a fan of the Immortal Hulk run and you bailed off of Hulk because what Donny Cates was doing, come on back. Come on back. They fixed it. It's all better now, and it's phenomenal. Be sure to come check out Hulk number 7 this week. Next up, man, oh man, the Monster Mash continues. Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, issue number 3 hits shelves. This one I have had the opportunity to read already. I'm not going to go into spoilers, so I'll try to dance around it, but just know that the epicness continues. The story builds. You know, at the end of the last issue, we saw what happened for the first time when Godzilla and Superman crossed paths. It was a wild slobber knocker of an epic meeting, and it ended with Superman laying on the ground, appearing to potentially be dead. So we're going to have to see how that plays out and where that goes as well. You can tell from the cover some of the stuff that's going to be introduced in this issue, stuff that I was waiting on since the jump. I'm a big King Kong guy, huge King Kong fan, so I'm excited to see that he is appearing on the cover of a couple of the variants as well this week. He's been kind of just in the weeds. I've been waiting on them to take that toy off the shelf and play with it, and now it's time. Next up, we have none other than Green Lantern War Journal, issue number 4 by Philip Kennedy Johnson as well. Now that we have a multiversal story of John Stewart needing to be recruited to stop the Revenant Queen from her war path, we now know where we're going. We need him to forge a ring. We need him to hop back on the saddle and take up the mantle of Green Lantern yet again. After he thought he would retire himself, the universe had other options for him. He's now poisoned by the Radiant Dead, and he's on limited time to do something about it. The more he uses his ability, the faster it poison. And what's the answer going to be? I don't know, but it looks like he's going to go to John Henry Irons, aka Steel, for help in the situation. Dive into issue 4 to see how this plays out, and I believe this one is only slated for 6. I'm not 100% sure. I think this is one of those titles that is slated for 6 issues, but will extend if they have the sales number to warrant it. That's why on a lot of the corner boxes of some of these, you'll see 1 of 6, and some of them they'll only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they won't tell you if they're longer or not. Green Arrow was a great example, the first one for us to see get extended, and now we'll see if any of the other ones do, if we'll just be switching up to other characters for little short stories. Next up, man, Jeremy Adams. Jeremy Adams, let me talk to you. Dude, you have just wrote flawlessly for these characters. Jeremy Adams has been on top of a Flash book for the past while now. He heralded us into the era of the dawn of DC with his run on Flash, getting us here. And as soon as we get there, they take him off of it, which was a shame. Cy Spurrier is not the guy for Flash, but don't worry. They put Jeremy on Jay Garrick Flash. Now, this unfortunately is only a 6-issue miniseries, but Jeremy's the guy for it. He worked heavily on the whole storyline of the new Golden Age characters with Jeff John and introducing us to these new characters like Judy Garrett, who is one of the lost children. So it's only right that he tells that story and dive into the details of her returning and these characters getting their memory back. So watching Jay get to interact with his daughter for the first time is fantastic. Watching them catch up on lost time is fantastic. And now we're getting to see them being faced with enemies from their past, from before she vanished. And we're going to see why they're popping up and if, in fact, Dr. Elemental, the new villain introduced for the series, is behind it all. I cannot wait to dive into this and get into more of the action. Again, Jeremy Adams is just the guy for the Flash family. Like, he's going to be the modern definitive example of how the Flash is supposed to be written. Hands down, it's him. He's the guy for it. Next up, man, this was Now we're getting into pick of the week territory. Easily getting into pick of the week territory. If you follow the channel, you know that I'm big excited for Ghost Machine. I've been on top of the Mad Ghost stuff since before it started. I'm a diehard Jeff Johns fan, and Jeff Johns created this company and started this unnamed universe with Geiger and Junkyard Joe. Now, moving into next year, they've expanded the universe, rebranded it Ghost Machine, and invited and now have on board countless other mega creators. So what Geiger Ground Zero is, it's a 2-issue miniseries kind of catching us up, giving us more detail and going into more depth with the character of Tariq Geiger. And issue 2 is fantastic because not only does it do that, it also is used as a springboard into what's coming next year. They'll have a Mad Ghost or Ghost Machine issue number 1, oversized introduction to the universe. You're going to want to read this first. At least the second issue, there's important teases in here, people. It's potential first appearance as well in here for what's coming. This universe has more potential than anything going on in comic books right now. Like, it's just, this is where people should be paying attention. Can't say that enough. Get in at the ground floor. Check this out. It was fantastic. Next up, in number 9 on the list, almost to the end, that last one is most certainly my pick of the week. But number 9, I went ahead and jumped on board Batman, Santa Claus, Silent Night. This will be issue number 3. The first 2 issues were fantastic. It's exactly what I wanted out of a holiday-style book. You have Batman and the Bat family dealing with a mystery and attack what looks like violent vampire bat humanoid-looking things. In the midst of investigating it, Santa Claus himself shows up, and not just ho 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 jolly Santa Claus, but like the Viking lore style Santa Claus. You know, he's tough, he's rough, he's definitely capable. And what we learned in this is a little backstory with Santa and Krampus, how Krampus was just a goober knocker pretty much, and because of a tragic accident, he got put into a situation that has driven him mad, malicious, and evil from the looks of it. Now he's coming back to get some revenge or play some more antics, and it's going bad, and a lot of people are dying. So will Batman and Santa Claus be able to save Christmas from Krampus? We'll see. This is only a 4-issue limited series. It's coming out once a week for the entire month of December. So I'm definitely having fun with this. There's some really cool variants they've done. They've done some rub and smell, like scratch and sniff style covers with Santa Claus's face where it smells like peppermint. Some really cool stuff. I love a good gimmick cover. If they're not for you, don't worry. A covers are available for a little bit cheaper. So get the one you like. Have some fun with it. And last but not least, and this is going to be my top pick for the week. Again, if you followed me for a while, you knew I was on top of this and you knew I was sad to see it go. We tracked it for weeks, I think a couple of months, waiting to see if it would just keep getting delayed and delayed and if it would drop. Well, it never came out. Apparently, the comic company that was publishing it went under. They were bought out by another distribution company called Alien Publishing. And now that they have been, they're rebranded, they're rebound, and now they're back. And that's none other than Exo Manowar Unconquered by Becky Cloonan with Liam Sharp on the art. So what you have here is the first 3 issues, 1 through 3, that were previously released by Valiant, is now repackaged with a new cover, with a foil trade dress, and that's book 1 of 2, because it's going to be a 6-issue miniseries. So if you haven't read it, you can pick up 1 through 3 right there in one collected volume. And what's even most exciting, same day, issue 4, the long-awaited issue 4 is finally hitting shelves. What you're looking at is an ancient warrior who is invaded and attacked, and he has this alien tech suit, and he uses it to fight for what he believes is right, and it's done in Liam Sharp fashion. He's meeting his makers, kind of to say. In this, you have the high-tech Roman army, which in this case is called the Novus Romanus Army. They were slaves at one point that overtook their slave masters and took over their tech and their alien stuff out in space and stayed there and evolved and developed over the years. And now they've come for Exo. They want his armor, they want his power, and they want his tech, and it's going very, very poorly for all parties involved. We'll see how it plays out. Liam Sharp's artwork is an absolute treat. It is a delight in this case, and I cannot wait to dive into it. That's going to be my top 10 picks. Leave me a comment down below which one on this list was your favorite and what is on your list. I'd be excited to see what other people are reading this week, especially so close to Christmas. Are your lists getting smaller around the holidays? Are you picking up more? And I hope everybody has a very safe and happy holidays. And until next time, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.